Hello? Are you okay? Hello? Hmm? What's going wrong with you, little friend? Hello? I think he's feeling not so well today. Hmm. It's day 9 of DEPHEMEREMBER, your daily ephemera inspiration in December. Welcome to another episode of this December daily series that is a collaboration with my dear friend Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. I really don't know what happened to my coffee this morning. Perhaps there were some secret ingredients in it, but it can also be that I'm just happy today because of this, a little bit funny intro of this video. So the animal for today that we are going to find in our paper bag here, number 9 of DEPHEMEREMBER, is going to be the partridge. And of course, we also have the international snack today. This one comes from Switzerland, and I actually know this, Kagi Fred Classic. This is something that my hubby, who actually isn't my hubby, but I'm always calling him my hubby, he is eating this nearly every day. Tons of this. So I know that this is actually really good. And the animal that we can use today is the partridge. When Barbara suggested this little birdie here, I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck? Partridge, what the heck? That is actually an animal that I, don't have on my inner list in my brain. This is an animal that is not so familiar to me. And I thought about that, and then I found these feathers. I have actually absolutely no idea if any of these feathers come from a partridge, but when I saw those, I thought, bird, partridge, feathers, that is matching each other really well, so I want to use these today. If you are new here and you have perhaps no idea what I'm talking about here, DEPHEMEREMBER is your daily ephemera inspiration in December. That means from December 1st to 25th, you will get daily videos on how to make your own ephemera for your junk journal. This December Daily series is a collaboration with my dear friend Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. That means you get 2 videos per day to watch from December 1st to 25th. So that you can check out, of course, always her video as well. If you perhaps have found mine here, then you know hers is online as well. The link to her channel is down below in the description box, and you can find daily inspiration for your own handmade ephemera. We are working with a prompt list that you can see here that is available in German and in English as a free download for you. Please check out the link below this video. And today's prompt is collage, fodder, and junk mail, and we can use the partridge as our animal. When I heard about collage fodder for the first time, I was like, what the heck shall that be? As you perhaps know, English is not my mother language. So I thought, okay, I know what a collage is, but what the heck is fodder? So I have put that into my translator, and my translator said that is something similar to food. And I was like, okay, sometimes I'm eating while I make a collage for better concentration, But what the heck has food to do with collage? And then there was this moment, in German we would say, der Groschen ist gefallen. That means a coin has fallen down, and that is this little bling, the noise that the coin makes when it falls to the ground. And that is a saying for you got it. Do you know what I mean? And then I thought, okay, collage fodder is nothing else than anything that you can glue to your collage. So it's actually food for your collage. So if you're new to junk journaling, I would like to quickly give some examples what you can use as collage fodder. So here I have a little box, my scrap stash, and all of these scraps were sent to me by Barbara with the journal that she has made for me for Defemerember. And in here there are lots of different things that you can call collage fodder. For example, those little pieces were where some leftover paint was painted to, fabric scraps. Here's also some wallpaper and scraps from book pages or old documents, for example. This snippet strip is also, I would say, a collage fodder. Corrugated cardboard, for example. Here's some crackle paste on it. You can nearly use anything that you want as collage fodder. Some stenciling here, and that doesn't have to be paper, by the way. It can also be fabric or some special paper like napkins or lace scraps or what you want. And that is what we shall use today. So I will choose some of the papers that Barbara has sent to me, and we shall also use some junk mail. Junk mail, of course, is everything that you can take out from the trash can. And that is, of course, really cool paper that you can use for your junk journals. So why not using something like this, even if here's some really ugly writing, but we can just glue something on top of that. Collage fodder, for example, or the idea that I have for today. Because today I want to show you how you can make some faux wax seals with hot glue and some other really easy materials. I thought that many people love wax seals in their junk journals, but not all of you have these special tools, you know, this special wax that you need, and perhaps this candle holder thingy where you put this little spoon so that you don't burn yourself, and so on. I mean, you can burn yourself with hot glue as well. Greetings to Barbara. But because she is the queen of of burning herself with a hot glue gun. Sorry, Barbara, but that's a fact. So I thought, why not trying an alternative way to make some wax seals that are not made out of wax, but that they are looking actually really interesting, really artsy. So I'm hoping that they look artsy. You can decide that in the end of the video if that's the truth. I want to use this page because of the colors and because this page is just gorgeous. Let's do it like this. Just fold that a little bit irregular, like this. Why not? But now this window here is really strange because it goes over this fold to the back side. That's not good. I mean, for my personal preference, that's not so good. But I found out a really easy trick the other day to remove these plastic thingies from those windows, from the envelopes, because when you fold that, this is really bulky and it's, you know, it's really strange. So let me show you a trick. Just take a heat gun. I mean, if it appears below your journal because your journal is already so fat, then you can just take it. Take some tweezers, and please be careful that you don't burn yourself with this trick. I will melt this, and with the heat it crumbles up, and when it crumbles up I can take my tweezers and then just take it and take it out. Do you know what I mean? So I will show you that, and I will turn off the sound when I'm turning on this thing here. Ta-da! Really easy. Don't touch this now. That could be a little bit hot, and also the tweezers could be a little bit hot. Just let that cool down. But this is a really cool way to just remove those windows here in a second. And you can also, if there's some leftover of this stuff, you can just then rip that off really easily without tearing this window of the envelope. And now, when we fold that, this is way more, you know, smooth and regular. And I would like to color this a little bit. So on the page there's lots of green and that stuff. So I'm thinking about some forest moss and also some brushed corduroy. And then I want to glue that down. And here, of course, you have different options. Now you could glue it completely to the page. Then you would have this little flip here, some journaling space here, a pocket here, a pocket there, and this little window thingy. You could also put things from here into that pocket. But you can, of course, also only glue it on 3 sides. And that's exactly what I will do here, like this, so that you get a top-loaded pocket in the end. So while this is drying, we can put this away. And then I'm going to choose some scraps from here. And what you then need, of course, is your hot glue gun and some charms or something similar. Here, with a choice of these little guys here, you can get really, really creative. That doesn't have to be charms. If you don't have any charms, please don't freak your freak. You just go around and choose things that perhaps are laying around in your house that you don't need anymore. Metal would be really good because it's heat resistant. You can take some broken jewelry. You can take some beads or something like that. Oh, I'm just thinking about expanding my idea a little bit and taking some additional beads today as well. That could look really cool. You can take anything that you want that is heat resistant. Yeah, please don't take things that could be melted by the heat of your hot glue gun. That's very important. Then we are going to need something like an awl or another tool, also heat resistant, please, that can be a protection for your finger. So I'm just using this to make my finger a little bit longer so that I don't have to touch the glue with my fingers. I don't want that, of course. And then it's really helpful to have some tweezers as well. And something like this. So this is just some embroidery thread, and I'm using that for some different reasons. The most of the charms that we know have these little holes there. But on my idea, it would look strange if this hole is just here. We can't remove it, so we will include that into our project, so that it doesn't look strange in the end. So I'm taking this thread and I'm just bringing this through here like this. And then I'm cutting that so that I have something like this here now. When I have this thread here through this hole, I can later on take the charm way more easily and put that to my project, because that is going to be very hot in the end, and I don't want to touch the hot glue with my finger, of course. And this little thread also helps to let your finger stay away from the hot glue. Okay, so here we go. Here on the left side, there are all of the charms that have a hole where I could put the thread through, and here are the others that I will take with my tweezers and put to my project. And now we are doing the following thing. We have this thing to protect our fingers at hand. We are taking one of these little guys here, and then we can decide where that would look the best. Then I'm taking my hot glue gun, and now I'm just putting some of the glue. Make sure that the glue gun is really, really hot and that the glue is really liquid, because you want to let this flow around a little bit like a normal wax seal. I mean, that shall be not too thick and a little bit round. And then you can take this with the help of the thread. You can just put it in there like this without touching the glue. Take this, press that down a little bit. I think this elephant would look great on the Tim Holtz fabric. I mean, that's actually also a good combination because Tim Holtz loves elephants. So let's put that here. And depending on how big your charm is, try to decide how much glue you want to use. Of course, that's personal preference. You can make that as big as you want, of course, or as small as you want. If you have really tiny pieces, then of course you can make it a little bit smaller. And if you have bigger charms or jewelry pieces or whatever, then just make it a little bit bigger. And I'm pressing the charm into the glue until I see that the glue comes up a little bit here around the charm. So that means it is sticking in there really, really well, like this. And this way I'm going on with all of my other charms. Where do I want to have this star? I think we will put this here. And perhaps you realize that you have, for example, too less glue. This charm here is, for example, really thick. So when I put that in here and I press it down, and I realize that I'm touching the paper with the back side of this little star, and the glue around seems to be not enough, then just do the trick with the heat gun. Just remelt this glue a little bit. Take your glue gun and put a little bit of glue around here until you think it's enough, so that this sticks really well in it. We don't want to have this falling out in the end. What am I doing here? And when you have put the glue from the glue gun here, then perhaps you realize that it's not so regular. Just take your heat gun again, remelt that, and it will go around this here really smooth and regularly. Smoothly and regularly. Is that a word? I really don't know. Okay, so when this is done and completely dry and cold, especially cold, then it looks like this. As you can see, the hot glue is, I can't say transparent, but translucent, I would say, so that you can see the fabric or the other collage fodder through it. I guess there's also some more transparent hot glue available than mine is here, but I'm totally fine with this. And I've also tried out to put some beads into the glue. That looks actually really cool. That looks like a little Christmas cookie, I would say. And I've also made some tiny ones like this. I think these are really cute as well. And what I also found out is something that is for me actually really cool. I had this little drop of glue here on my paper and I forgot to put something in. And then I realized that it already cooled down a little bit. When I put this bead in it, I realized that it's not so liquid anymore. But perhaps you can see this not so good, but can you see this little like donut shaped thingy around it? That looks really cool, and I think this is actually really cool for the next step. So I'm realizing that I'm finding out really different things about this idea, and that's what I'm trying to say. When you do this, you will definitely find out more variations than I'm showing you here today, because there are so many possibilities on how to change this idea, also depending on which things you use for the inner part here and what you put into the glue. And now the charms shall look like this impression of those wax stamp thingies. Do you know what I mean? So when you have those fancy wax seal tools, you also have these little stamps that you put into the liquid wax, and then you get an impression. And that's what I wanted to imitate with those little charms. If these were regular wax seals, then you of course could additionally add some gilding wax, and that's what I want to do now. I also have this kind of stuff. This is black, and the other one that I've shown you before is golden. So I've found out that that is a really good combination, and that this looks really cool if you can open it. An alternative would be some acrylic paint, for example, or some other mediums that can dry on a surface like this plasticky surface of the hot glue. If you're not sure if your medium that you have, if you don't have such a wax, can hold here, then please just try that out by putting some glue to the paper, let that dry, and then just put the medium on top, let that dry, and rub over it with your finger to see if it stays there or not. If it rubs off, you can just take a spray sealer and put that on top to make the medium stay on this plasticky surface of this hot glue. And now I'm just rubbing this over this whole thing, and that brings out the impression of this charm, of course, really, really well. And you can also mix up colors. Now I'm taking a little bit of this black stuff here, and I'm also rubbing this in to make that a little bit more grungy. Of course, you could leave it only with the gold as well, but I want to show you some variations of this, and I really like this little bit grungy look. Then it looks like this, a little bit more, not so shiny, a little bit more vintage, I would say. And of course, you can take what you have on your finger and put that around this thing as well, and make the paper around it a little bit grungy as well, or the fabric or whatever you have there. And with this method, of course, it looks not like a real wax seal, to be completely honest, but I think this is a great alternative to the real wax seals. But I think this is even cooler, and it's perhaps also cheaper because you have probably more different charms in your stash than you have those wax stamps. I mean, if you buy one wax stamp, then you would have the same impression on every of your wax seals. Do you know what I mean? And this is way more flexible. And of course, you can also vary where you put this golden stuff. Here now I have covered the whole hot glue with the wax, and you can't see anymore that it is this hot glue. But of course, you can also say, okay, here, for example, with this little dragon, I want to have some of this paper that is below here shown through the glue. Then just take the gilding wax and just put it not all over the glue, but only, for example, like this. You can also take a piece of fabric or something similar, a paper towel or something like that, and go over that a little bit to blend that into this area where only the glue is. Now you have a really cool blending with this wax. And here, of course, we can also put some of the black to the edges to make that look a little bit distressed. And I think with this black paper that Barbara has made, It looks really cool. Oh my goodness, I think I have a little moon here with my owl, because here was a little bubble in the glue, but this looks just cool. Really cool. And this is a little bit flexible, but that's okay for me. I mean, these little things make the thing even more interesting. And what you also can do, I mean, my charms here are all silver. And that perhaps is not everyone's taste if the charm is silver and this thing is gold. Of course, you can also rub the wax, the gilding wax, over the silver charm. Then it gets colored a little bit and it gets this really cool mixture of silver and gold. Or if you put more, it gets totally gold. And I really like that. But of course, you could also use some golden charms if you have some. And of course, you could also make some scenarios with different charms, like this one, for example. There I have put the tree in here, and additionally this little dragonfly. So you could, of course, think about some scenarios that fit your journal or the theme of your journal. This one is the one where I haven't realized fast enough that the glue was already really dry. And I have put this little bead inside, and now we have this donut shape around it. And with the wax, of course, it comes out way more than without the wax. And I'm really wondering what will happen when I put more black to it, if I can then get this out, this pattern out more, and perhaps a little bit gold on top, so that we have some layering. Oh, that looks really cool. That looks nearly like an eye or something like that. Really cool. And here you can't guess that it is hot glue. I mean, okay, so I will just finish these up and then we can go on with our page. Ooh, this comes out really great. Oh, these little drops, just cool. And the color of these beads is disappearing a little bit. Ooh, I'm so sorry. So that they are not so massive anymore. I mean, the colors, look at that. I really love that. And now there are, of course, several different options how you could go on with this. If I wasn't filming for Dephemerember at the moment, I would take these and put them into my stash like they are now. I would prepare some of these and then take these whole pieces, put them into my stash, and then when I want to use them, I can just take that and tear that off, that piece that I want to have, like on a snippet roll, for example. Because I think storing these pieces in a bigger scale is way more easy than having all of these tiny pieces, and perhaps you don't know yet where you want to tear that or how big the piece that you want to tear shall be. And when you store them in this way, you have way more possibilities later when you want them, when you want to put them into your journal. But I have to show you something, what you can do with them now, so I will tear them up now. Okay, so I want to decorate this area of my little flip pocket thingy here. And for that, I want to use my partridge, the single components of my partridge. So I want to have some of the feathers here, and I want to put one of my faux wax seals on top, and I'm just thinking which one I want to use. So I can now tear this off really easily, of course, and we can leave some of the collage fodder here for some more interest. If you have something where you have put the wax not over the whole surface of the glue, then of course you can do that also a little bit differently. Here we can see the pattern of the collage fodder through. So in my eyes, it would make sense to just leave this part of the paper here, and here we could tear really close along the edge of this thing. Then it would look like this, a little bit irregular. You have this interest of the collage fodder here, and here you have nothing. If you don't like this idea with having the paper underneath that you can see, I mean, yeah, this paper that is shown, then of course you can also use some scraps, some junk paper that you don't need anymore. And of course you could also take that and tear around this thing like this and just remove the whole paper so that you are left with only this faux wax seal itself. You don't need the paper, of course, but I really like this idea of having this collage fodder around the piece, this thing. The tree here is nice, but nice is the little sister of ugly, so perhaps it's not the right place for the tree. So I'm thinking about, ooh, that is really strong fabric. Either the owl here, that's really cute, or the elephant. That is perhaps a little bit small for this big pocket thing. So let's go with the owl. I want to have some of the feathers peeking out below the fabric. And I'm just trying to decide which colors I want to have. This is really gorgeous in combination with this Tim Holtz fabric. And this green fits also really well to this area and here to these colors and also to the spray that we've used. I'm really happy with how this looks, but I'm just thinking if we shall put another layer below this fabric so that it looks a little bit more interesting, like this. And I think I want to sew around here a little bit. Whew. That was actually not so easy because I can't go so close to this thing with my sewing machine because it's so thick. The paper and the fabric is relatively small, so that was not so easy, but I think this looks really interesting now. And I've also taken this green embroidery thread and put that below the fabric and around here a little bit so that I can include that into my design here. I have told you in the beginning that this thread has several different reasons. So one of them, of course, was that we could take the charm and without burning our fingers, put that into the glue. But of course, you can now use that also to hang these things somewhere. Just put a little hole to your page and then just use it as a little dangle or something. So this thread, of course, can be used in several different ways. And this is just cute. And I think we can add some splatters. We will let that air dry. And drying time. Do you know what that means? Drying time means snack time, of course. So I'm going to turn around the camera and we are going to have our snack from Switzerland now. So this snack here from Switzerland is, to be honest, going to become not such a big surprise to me because I know this thing. Gary, my hubby, who isn't my hubby, is eating tons of this per year. And sometimes when I'm either really lovely to him or when I'm fast enough, then sometimes I get a piece of this as well. So here are two really big pieces in it. And this package, can you hear that? That is exactly the noise, but way louder, that I have to hear when I'm trying to watch a movie with my hubby. He is laying next to me on the couch. Every time we are trying to watch a movie, he's making this kind of thing. And sometimes, no matter which snack it is, gummy bears or this kind of chocolate or something like that, he's always not able to open the package without making noises, but not a few seconds or something like that until he's opened it, but for minutes, hours. I mean, if I wouldn't take the snack away from him and open the package for him, I would miss the whole movie. Perhaps so. In Germany and also other German-speaking countries, and here in Austria as well, there's a movie that's called Tatort. That's in the TV every Sunday, and there's always a murderer, and you can be happy when you can see the murderer, and when you perhaps can see a person that is laying on the ground, like the partridge, not so alive anymore, you know. But if you don't take the package away from him and open it for him, then you will never know what happened in this movie. And that's nearly every day when we are watching a movie. This sound is so crazy, and he's doing that all the time. So anyway, back to the thing here. So this is chocolate on the outside, and inside, I already know that because I know the snack, there's some really crunchy, like, cookie. Perhaps you know that. In the summertime, I see my hubby not so often. Nearly never. The last summer it was a little bit better because he has reduced the hours that he has to work. But the years before this last summer were really, really difficult for us because we had nearly no chance to see each other. And perhaps you are wondering why I'm telling you that. The reason comes now, because the taste of this is for me like being together with him. Do you know what I mean? This is such a reminder of our evenings in the winter, because he has to work mainly in the summer, and in the winter he has more free time. And this is just like laying with him on the couch. That is just great. That means the rating is really, really hard for this. I mean, this is really delicious. There's little crunchy cookie there in the inside. I'm so sorry, my light is so bad today again. That is really, really delicious. I would say if this thing with Gary was not in my mind, then this would be a 7 out of 10. But because it is in my mind, it's a 9 out of 10. Because there's actually one thing that he always is eating when we are watching a movie that is even more delicious than this thing. That is the strangest rating of the whole DEPHEMEREMBER series, I would say. And this is how our page with the little, yeah, I would say, it looks like a wax seal. Even if it's hot glue, I would like to call it a wax seal when it's dry. I really like how the gesso turned out on the feathers. That looks really cool, like little snowflakes or something. So that was my idea for today. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment what you think about this, and please don't forget to visit Barbara's channel and watch her video and yeah, see what she has created with today's prompt. I'm hoping that we will see tomorrow with a new prompt of Ephemerember. Stay creative and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.